Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right on the bed on the old show today. Yes, a little bit of sad news. This is a screenshot from the last segment of the last ever episode of Season 22 of this generation of Top Gear. The last two presenters left were James May and Richard Hammond. It's a sad situation that this vehicle had to end the way it did, but it did, and this deal is moving forward. Now, as far as this has actually already been shown off in Europe, as far as it being shown off in the United States, I can't find anywhere where it's going to be shown off on BBC America. In fact, I looked on BBC America's website, and the Top Gear page still has everybody on it. Richard Hammond, James May, and Jeremy Clarkson are all still on the front page, where they've been stripped down on the BBC Top Gear page. So, weird situation. In fact, they're not even talking about this episode even existing, so we'll have to wait and see if this thing ever gets shown off. Probably just going to have to watch it on the old internet, so we'll keep you in tune, though, if I hear any more about it. Now, as far as the three lads are concerned, their new program is moving forward, where they're working on a program. Now, the weird thing is, the Daily Mirror over in Europe is actually reporting, the 27th of June of 2015, they reported that they've already got a deal with ITV. Basically, ITV kind of wants to stick it to the BBC. They want to build a dang near identical car program and put it head-to-head on the same night at the same time that Top Gear is running the new generation of Top Gear. I waited for 18, 19 hours to try to see this thing flush out, see if anything came out on any other website to kind of corroborate this particular story. Nothing ever came out until right before I went on air in jalopnik.com talking about a little deal about the final episode of Top Gear, and they talked too that there's an ITV deal, but they also talked about that there's a Netflix deal done too. Now, I don't know if they're going to be doing two separate automotive programs or if they're going to do the same program. It's going to be shown on both vehicles. We'll have to wait and see what comes of this, at least in the future, but I'll keep you in tune. I guarantee I'll keep you in tune. Next up on the list, let's talk about some cars. The brand new Lotus 311 took the wraps off of this at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Now, this particular machine comes with a 3.5-liter supercharged V6, making somewhere between 410 and 450 brake horsepower. It just depends on who you actually talk to. Now, the trick is, this thing only weighs 1,969 pounds. It is a featherweight. 0 to 60 numbers supposedly going to come in at just under 3 seconds. Now, it comes in two different trims. If you get the road trim, it's basically what you see is what you get, and it has a starting price of just under 82,000 pounds or 130,000 US dollars. Now, if you go for the race version, you get some real goodies. In fact, a lot of aero tweaks to this thing to really give it a lot of downforce, a full FIA-approved racing seat, and a full sequential gearbox. Boy, no more beautiful words on the planet than that. Now, that particular machine is going to cost you a fair amount more, 115,000 pounds or 180,000 US dollars. No word on whether or when this vehicle is going to be going on sale, but we'll keep you in tune if we hear any more. Another vehicle that's shown off at the Goodwood Festival of Speed is the brand new 2.0 version of the Nissan Juke R. If you remember the original Juke R, basically it was the Juke with a GTR drivetrain put underneath it. In fact, the company that built it was a UK-based touring car team that then kind of hooked up with Nissan to actually build this machine. And it was quite a lot of work. Now, the new Juke actually comes with a lot of things that really make this car a little bit better, including a lot more openings in the front fascia to actually let a lot of cooler air in, because that was a big problem they had with the last Juke R. But there is quite an upgrade, because not only is the Juke R going to have a GTR drivetrain, it's going to have the Nismo GTR drivetrain. The 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V6 is now going to be making just a touch under 600 brake horsepower, shifted through a 6-speed dual-clutch transmission, and power going to all four wheels. This thing made a couple of laps up the hill at Goodwood in impressive fashion, so cannot wait to hear more about this. It'll be interesting to see how many they're going to build, how much it's going to cost. I think they only built about 30 of the last one for $600,000 a piece, and they sold every one of them, so I'm assuming they're probably going to sell every one of these as well. Another vehicle that had the wraps off, at least as far as in rolling stock, they actually drove this thing up the Goodwood Hill, the brand new Ford Focus RS. But we got official power numbers out of this machine, as was told at the Goodwood Festival speed. The 2.3-liter EcoBoost turbocharged 4-cylinder makes 345 brake horsepower, 323 or 24 pounds-feet of torque. Now, not for sure when exactly this vehicle is going to go on sale and what the pricing is going to be. We've already heard that it's going to come out next year, but what an impressive piece of kit this machine is. And it's going to be a neat little machine for everybody who gets their hands on one of these deals. We'll keep you in tune when we hear any more about this vehicle. Since we've talked so much about the Goodwood Festival Speed, I want to give you a little bit of my impressions, because for the first time ever, I got to see it live. Now, I didn't get to see it live. It was actually for the first time ever streamed over the internets. And I woke up extra early and vegged out. I think, goodness gracious, I think I must watch 10, 15 hours maybe of Goodwood coverage. It was absolutely amazing. Usually we only get about an hour wrap-up program that shows off in the wintertime. So it's way, way late in the year. So it was really, really fun to get to see a lot of cars. And if you don't know what the Goodwood Festival Speed, put it on your calendar if you're a car person, because it is awesome. Everything from early 1900s racing automobiles all the way up to present day stuff, all going up Lord March's grounds. Lord March actually opens up his grounds. This hill's actually been used for hill climbing since the 1930s. And he's been putting this deal on, I think, since somewhere around the 90s. And it is just an awesome event. Tons of really cool automobiles. Tons of very rare, very iconic automobiles. And sometimes bad things happen, like what happened to this vehicle. This is the 767B Mazda rotary race car that actually raced the 24 Hours of Le Mans in around the mid, or I guess I should say late 80s, early 90s. This was actually built in 89. Now, this wasn't the Le Mans winning car, thank goodness, because that thing only crept up the hill the couple of times it did it after this car was used up. This particular machine only finished 9th at Le Mans, only raced a handful of other endurance events, mainly in Japan. But sad to see this machine. It's going to take a lot of work, if they can indeed get it fixed. Now, the fastest up the hill, because they do lap times up the hill, in fact, on the final day, was this particular machine. Ollie Clark's 780 brake horsepower time attack Subaru WRX. This vehicle made it up the hill in 44.91 seconds. That's just off the mark that Sebastian Loeb did it last year at 44.60, I think, seconds that he did it last year. This particular machine is not the fastest up the hill. Many, many years ago, Nick Heidfeld in a McLaren Mercedes Grand Prix car actually did it in 41.9 or 41.60 seconds, which is whopper fast, until they outlawed them. Now that these time attack cars are getting that fast, are they going to soon outlaw these? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see on that deal, but still. Mark your calendars. The Goodwood Festival Speed. What an awesome, awesome event. It was beautiful to get to see it live this year. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.